It was not a turn that I would have liked. Dario Naharis outright refused to join my Khalasar. Outright refused to live up to the reputation of the great Khaleesi Stormborn. But he said to my messenger to tell me that his Khaleesi would not die until he himself died defending the city that she had entrusted him to guard. I had no time. No time to pursue a further diplomatic solution. No time to send in further negotiators. There was simply no more time. As the assault upon the 3 different cave cities approached, I realized from my greatest warrior that 3 separate approaches would need to be enacted in order to conquer all 3 simultaneously. If we managed it, it would be one of the greatest military victories in the history of Essos or Westeros. I was determined to achieve that glory. My woman has been nothing but supportive of me ever since I liberated her from her father. I would say that it was Providence that led her to follow me on this path of conquest. But if truth be told, I believe it was simply the glamour. The glamour of what conquering a continent would mean to her and her life of a gilded cage. As for my official Maester, I made a formal ceremony inducting this Maester into my formal service, which they seemed only too happy to accept. As my first official order to my Maester, I instructed him to teach the ways of medicine to several of my most intelligent subjects, so that we had several medical professionals to tend to the wounded during battle. As for the Maester themselves, I sent them to the one place I had a feeling they would be most comfortable. I sent them to the very heart of Westeros, to King's Landing. Lord Tyrion. Oh, it's you, Captain. Well, what news do we have of this, Maester? Are they legitimately what they seem to be? Yes, Lord Tyrion. The Maester came in with a contingency of 6 bodyguards, all of them Dothraki screamers. But how do we know that they are sent by Ozmar himself? Well, since the 6 Dothraki screamers aren't enough to convince you, my lord, they also brought this. The official banner of this new conqueror in the east. A blood-red hand on black canvas. The official mark of Ozmar the Conquerer. I see. Well, I will meet with this Maester. Perhaps they bear news that we can turn to our advantage. Do you really think that this Conqueror in the East will pose a serious threat to Westeros? I'm not sure, Captain. But if I've learned one thing, it's never underestimate the people of Essos. They are capable of so much more than we give them credit for. We like to think of ourselves as superior on this little western isle of ours. But it has only just been unified after hundreds of years, and it took us that amount of time to even achieve that. This Conqueror has managed to unify all of the Dothraki Sea within the space of a year. But come, I am sure you are anxious to attend the King's banquet, so I won't keep you from your off time, Captain. I am more than capable of meeting with this Maester myself. Thank you for your diligence. Of course, Lord Tyrion. Me and my men will be stationed outside if anything should go awry. Thank you, Captain, but I'm sure that won't be necessary. I doubt that a conqueror who has managed to conquer the East has managed it on bloodshed alone. I'm sure a little diplomacy will go a long way with this Ozmar. If you'll excuse me, Captain. Yes, my lord. Lord Tyrion, just be careful. These Dothraki can be unpredictable. I'll bear it in mind, Captain.
Lord Tyrion Lannister, the King's Hand.
So, you are the Maester. Sit, please. I'm sure we have much to discuss. Much for you to bring back to your, king? Khal, I do beg your pardon. In Westeros, we would consider someone of his achievement a king, though I'm sure the title of Khal has taken a different meaning since there are now not any, as I understand it from my sources. There are no more, you say? Well, at least he managed to achieve something that Daenerys Stormborn did not. I see. The main question I'm sure the king and the people of Westeros would be most interested in hearing, however, is should Ozmar succeed, should your Khal succeed and conquer Essos, will he pose a threat to Westeros? You say he does not, Maester, yet I find that very difficult to believe. I have been surrounded by men like Ozmar all my life, people so consumed with this idea of conquest and military glory that all else will not be enough. Anything else achieved in their lives will not be enough. So I ask you again, Maester, from one Westerosi to another, do you think he intends to invade once all of Essos is under his thumb? Well, I see your point. Very well, I'll take your word for now. It is not that I do not trust your word, it is simply that I perhaps do not trust the word of your Khal. Please don't misunderstand, Maester. I have great respect for this conqueror. There has been none like him in our lifetime. Even Daenerys Stormborn did not manage to unite the whole of eastern Essos against the rest of it. Only 3 cities. Speaking of the 3 cities, what is the current situation with Marine, Astapor, and Yunkai? Well, I'm very sorry to hear about the 2 slave cities being retaken by the Masters. Me and Daenerys did suffer a lot to try and take them from the Masters. But let's hope that with the military might behind your Khal, that he will succeed very quickly. Well, you would be correct. If he managed to conquer all 3 cities within the space of a simultaneous time period, it will be one of the greatest military achievements in our history. I'm sure after that Ozmar will go down in history as one of the greatest military minds of our age. Indeed. You are a Maester of Westeros. Indeed. May I ask a question before you depart? Why? Why did you choose to turn your back on your own people? Stability, you say. You think that I made the wrong decision? Well, I would be lying if I said that I did not choose the crippled king, as you call him, out of a sense of, what would you say, sympathy. However, I stand by my decision. I still think that he can bring peace and prosperity to Westeros, and he will enable conflicts to simmer that have been brewing for years. Very well, Maester. You have piqued my curiosity somewhat more. I will invite you formally as my guest to attend the King's banquet. 1 year today, our King took the throne. Please join us as an official guest and dignitary of Ozmar the Conquerer. I am sure the other Maesters will be envious of your position that you have managed to achieve for yourself. This will be your chance to gloat to them. Indeed. Come, we can discuss somewhat more, if there is anything more to discuss, at the banquet. Ah, Maester, a pleasure. Come, sit at the King's table. Let the other Maesters be envious of your position, as I said. Please, sit with me. Did you wish to meet the King? Excellent. Well, I will do my best to arrange a meeting. As the King's hand, I am somewhat of a stretched position at the moment. We can discuss all that later, but for now, how about I give you some information to take back to your master? Good. Now I'm sure you're aware of the many houses that rule different parts of Westeros.
In the past year, the king has managed to unite somewhat into one grand army. A sound strategy, I'm sure. It will definitely prevent infighting and stop any conflicts without the king's prior permission. If the military of the crown is under one banner, then no one house can control it and continue the endless fighting. I fear that your master, Ozmar, may have somewhat of a difficult and, well, some would say impossible strategy of preventing the many provinces under his command to descend into infighting. However, I would have also said that conquering eastern Essos was impossible too, and your master has definitely achieved that. There are many houses across Westeros that would present a threat to the king, however. You and your Khal are not the only ones who believe that I made the wrong decision. Many houses seek to lead a coup against our system. However, I believed on a professional and experienced-orientated opinion that this is the soundest strategy that we could have, considering the kind of rulers that we had in the past. Oh, I forgot. I quite forgot. I do apologize. Yes, I am aware that you are a Westerosi and you were here during the Troubles. Jon Snow, as I understand, went north of the Wall. As the White Walker threat has ended, it will be somewhat safer. Now, you will still have the mighty task of, well, coming to terms with the tribal outlook of the wildlings north of the Wall. However, this may also be of interest to your master, as the Dothraki operate on a similar tribal system, respecting strength above all else. Good, I'm glad that is useful. Our military strength. Well, I guess I can understand why Ozmar would wish to understand what our military strength was. Well, I'll say for now that it isn't anything like the kind of numbers that Ozmar commands. However, I do feel that our naval superiority would be of benefit if Ozmar chose to invade, which, of course, you are saying he will not. Is that true? Well, there you are then. He may be able to beat us in a land battle, but in terms of naval superiority, I do believe that we hold the trump card. Yes, there are many dignitaries here that I'm sure that if finance is the game of your Khal, I believe that you would wish to talk to them about mutual trade opportunities, considering that you mentioned before that you taught agriculture to the Dothraki peasants. They will no doubt have harvest coming into season soon, and wish to sell to a Westerosi market. Oh yes, we will pay anything. Anything to fuel banquets such as these require raw goods, such as harvest wheat to make bread and vegetables, etc. Is that so? Well, I had no idea. Since your Khal is married, offer him my congratulations for his first heir. What is the situation, if I may ask, without being accused of being undelicate? Will be the situation if it is a girl? I see. Well, I mean, I applaud your logic. Daenerys Stormborn was certainly a woman, as far as I am aware. So if she can rule, I see no reason why a daughter of Ozmar should not be given the same opportunity. Is that the belief of your Khal also? Perhaps I underestimated this Ozmar then. He clearly is a thinking man, clearly able to both lead a military and come up with diplomatic strategy to connect with a wider national community. But enough talk of politics. For now, I will entertain you in the best westerosi way that I know how. And when you go back to your master, you may convince him that Westeros is not the place it once was. It is civilized and willing to form an alliance if Ozmar gives us his word as a Dothraki ruler and the only Khal left, that he will not intend any aggressive action towards us. Is that acceptable to you, Maester? As an official representative? You believe so? Excellent. Let us drink, eat, and be merry. My favorite part of a negotiation.